welcome to today's video. Why have I not met my twin flame or soulmate yet? Okay. Awareness. Distracted or filling life with other things. When we look outside of ourselves for validation and fill ourselves, our daily lives, with the things that we think we need, we're not looking within and fulfilling our own needs. We are filling our lives with external sources of validation rather than the self-validation that is needed and required in order to be ready for the meeting of your soulmate or twin flame union. The one that is meant for you can only turn up once you've stopped looking for it, basically, when you've actually resigned yourself to doing the inner work, to giving yourself the love and the fix that is necessary. Because let's face it, we all on some level are broken and need to do the inner work on ourselves. And if your ego is rising up and getting upset with me right now for pointing that out, then there is truth in that. Reading cards is not always easy because sometimes the truth can hurt a person, and it can come across as cutting or cruel or, well, that's just so unfair that you should say that because I think I'm in a great place and I've still not met the one. Everything is done on a timetable, and the timetable is you. You are your own timetable. You are your own meter for where you end up in life, for what you're doing, because you are the creator of your world. And the outer world is reflected by the state of the inner one. And that is just how this universe works. And so it does become about awareness. And if you are lacking self-awareness, if you are lacking awareness in your life, then you could have already met your twin flame and not even known it. Yes, right. Because we often meet up, go our separate ways, and then come back around later on. That is a true statement of fact. But until you are at an emotional maturity and at the right stage for the relationship to have the best effect on you both, it's not going to happen. And so it does become about self-love. It becomes about the journey of you with yourself, about your own healing. And it is about self-healing. As a healer, I am so hot on really promoting self-love, promoting doing that inner work, because it will serve you in the end, because you will meet your soulmate. You will meet the one that is for you when the time is right, when you have walked that path, that inner journey by yourself, and you'll get to a place where you have boundaries, you have expectations, you have for yourself, you know, of what you want in life. You are a person that is so well loved that you don't need that other person to complete you, which means then you can actually be there for that person in your entirety without needing them to be the one to give you the validation and the assurances and everything else. You can really serve love in its fullness. And that's why you shouldn't want to rush meeting the one, because if you can actually get to that place within yourself where you're happy and know that if that person were to leave, you'd still be happy, you're ready. And I know it sounds really strange advice, but it's the truth. That's right. Stability. Setting a solid foundation. A little while ago, I had a dream about my soulmate. And we actually said to each other, we had to set a solid foundation prior to coming together. because we did. It's just the way that the world works, you know? So, and I, in my dream, I was shown a triangle, a pillar of three rocks together, and that all of everything for both of us had to be in place before we met. And so stability is really key. You have to be stable and able to meet your intended. And having belief is really important as well. And it's belief in yourself, belief in your value, knowing your value. Don't sell yourself short. And working on those social skills. And knowing, right, see, angels came through with this and it came flying out the deck, and it says the problems you have today will eventually disappear. Your guardian angels encourage you to maintain a positive outlook on life, since your luck may be about to change. It is time to put to use your captivating energy and inspirational personality. Don't let your ego get the better of you. What was I saying about ego earlier in this reading? Moments. Think of a special moment that brought you much joy with a partner. I think life is a series of moments, and the moments that we've had can really teach us about what we do want and what we don't want prior to meeting the one. And this is really important. Illusion. Avoid the trap of mistaking a fantasy for a true soul connection. People do this quite a lot in the desperation and the need to connect with another. They actually build a fantasy in their head and build this emotional connection that just actually doesn't exist and never did. And then when everything falls through, is a crushing disappointment for the person, because they had created this fantasy around what was really there, and in truth most of it was just an illusion rather than a soul connection. And so it's about building that connection within yourself, so you won't start building illusions anymore, because you will live in the reality of your own self-love and connection. And the connection that you do get in the end will be, you will be able to validate and to know. Why? Because it will be clear and apparent to you about the realities of who you are, what you want, and the fact that you are so self-loving. You don't need those external validations from anyone anymore. But these sorts of things can stop us from our goal, and that's competing goals, bothersome details, conflicts with others and with ourselves. Things can go sour pretty quick. And so when we're looking at meeting our soulmate, we have to really let go of competition and seeking the one, you know, and desperation. You shouldn't be desperate for anyone, ever. That you know. So you have to start letting go of the pining and the needing and the wanting and the frantic searching and thinking that, you know, I'm an old maid, no one's gonna ever want me. These are all things that we always tell ourselves, but at the end of the day, my darlings, that is all poppycock. Everyone has someone, but it is about knowing that you complete you, that you are enough, that you do not need external validation or anyone to come in and fix you. that is something you should be doing for yourselves. And once you have, and once you've done the shadow work and you've done all of the self-soothing, healing, loving, you're going to be a totally different woman or man, and you're going to be ready for that person. You'll get to the stage where you have the desire to move on from and the search for something more meaningful, because you will actually have got to a place where like shallow connections just don't do it for you anymore, and you will crave something more spiritual, more emotional, more deep than the hookups and connections that you have been constantly facing, because you haven't done that inner work yet. Once you have done that, the need to grow and the need to move on, and then that you will naturally grow into your relationship with the one that is for you. And they are out there, my loves. And I'm going to leave this reading here, and I send you my love. I wish you luck. Everyone has someone. Just because you haven't met them yet doesn't mean that they're not on the horizon. And when you do get to the point where you are ready to give up the combat and, you know, the inner bothersome work that you haven't done, you're going to face and do. And when you actually are ready to give up illusions and stop thinking about past moments for the wrong reasons and start thinking about the learning journey that you've been on, and start treating everything as a way of enrichment and a way of spiritual and emotional growth, you will find yourself in a totally different headspace, heart space, energetic field, and then the one will be drawn to you through that change in your energy. As you change on the inside, your outside world changes around you. Namaste, my beautiful darlings. My love to you all. I wish you a good week. If you like this reading, then please do give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It's free to do. I upload as often as I can to my site. Take care, my loves. Bye.